Hi, this is Jared from Shunome, and today I wanted to do a follow-up video to the video I released at the end of last week. In that video, I showed you how to make this chimney right here in ArchiCAD, and the way I did it was using a lot of complex profiles. If you haven't watched that video, I recommend you doing that after watching this one. So, one of the comments I got from that video was, "Hey Jared, the complex profile solution is great, but you're going to end up having a lot of complex profiles if you have a lot of different items in a project that use this technique," which I'll be honest is very true. In a typical project for me, for residential, I can have upwards of 100 complex profiles because I use them a lot. And the commenter went on to say, why don't you just use the morph tool? Morph tool could handle this great, it'd be fast, and then you wouldn't have the cluttered profile manager. Well, I completely agree. I think doing the chimney with the morph tool is a great idea. I think there's benefits to both. So, in the interest of ArchiCAD education, I want to now show you guys how to do this chimney with the morph tool. Step one is pretty much the same as how we did it with the complex profile tool. We want to figure out what the dimensions are. So, again, I've got these fills. The next step is to copy and paste them into a section window. So here we've gone, I've copied and pasted them in there. Now, with those in there, you can, with the morph tool, go ahead and trace the jig you've created. I always like to go in after the fact and add the curves in and not try and draw them in when you're first doing a complex outline. It's just because trying to do both can get, I don't know, takes a lot of brain power, and why do that when you can go fast with straight lines and very easily in ArchiCAD come back and curve things. So, now that I've done that, got that shape, I'm going to jump to the 3D window, and there is our morph. It's just a 0 thickness morph, but I can select that and get the palette up and just extrude it a distance. So now we have that morph. If we go look in plan, it's going to be up on our, oh, wrong way, it's going to be up on our 3rd story because ArchiCAD's detected its height. You'll notice that it's being drawn, or it's being created along the section cut line. So after I do this, I just have to move it, over into place, or make sure the section is cut where the object wants to be, or the element. Not a big deal. So that's pretty fast, that's not too bad, but if the morph tool is going to be great, it's got to be faster. Fortunately, we can make it faster by going back to the morph tool and using the magic wand. So if you hold down spacebar, your cursor changes to the magic wand, and now if we click within a discrete area, for instance, that fill, ArchiCAD will see that outline and fill it with a complex profile. So now we don't have to redraw what we did, we just use those fills as an outline. So now, if we go back to 3D, we've got all our morph elements there, and again we just have to select them and extrude them back. So that, I'll say, compared to the complex profile, is way faster. So we've made the body of the chimney. Let's see, let's rotate around. In that original fill, I had some nodes here, which means the morph was created with those nodes along that side. And we can go and we can change that that surface to a different material. Now we don't have it there, so we can get the pet palette, come up, go to the pencil tool, select that. I picked the wrong spot. I like the rotated rectangle. Oh. And we can go and add a new face, and we can go down here and change it, or if we go to the pet palette, we can go to that custom face settings and select what we want. We can also change how the texture relates to the surface. So I've gone in, and now we've got that, and that's nice. So I'm not going to bore you with extruding the other parts, but you can extrude it, and it's very easy, and we're going to create a nice quick model. The one part where I think the morph, at least for my capabilities, fails compared to the complex profile is things that are extruded and wrapping around. So, for instance, selecting this piece and doing the tube function, which let me select that again because it went so fast. That button right there, which is the tube. This I find is really, really hard to. ArchiCAD is all goofing up on me. Find it really hard to manage and wrap around. Something that should just be click, 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 click. It's just, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because I'm trying to do this with an audience or because I'm not familiar enough with the tool, but I found getting this extrusion to come through perfectly. You can see I goofed up there because I was doing it fast. Getting that extrusion come through perfectly, I had issues with. Obviously, I wasn't trying too hard to make it accurate there. But let's now jump over, look at all three. So here's the half-built one, which is kind of ugly because we're doing it quick, that we just did. But if let's go ahead and delete this because it's distracting. So now we have two chimneys we're looking at. This one here is all complex profiles. This one here, I did it in advance of the video, it is all morphs. In 3D, you can't tell the difference. I think if we spent a little more time, the morph tool has a little more ability to work with textures. One of the nice things with the morph, if we select this face, we could draw kind of any shape we want. And if there's a decoration on there, we could then change this this face could then become, say, blue, and we could just as well, inset that 2 inches. So the morph tool has some nice things where it's easy to add some other elements. So if the face of it gets more complex, the morph tool has some advantages. But this could also just be applicate on with the morph tool onto the complex profile. And that's kind of the point of this video, really, is the answer when you have a chimney like this to do with complex profiles or to do with morphs? No. The solution is to use a combination. So for the body, things that are one-off, I would definitely use morphs instead of complex profiles. This shape right here, that's perfect for a morph. These curves here as well, a morph's going to do well. Actually, a curious thing is morphs and complex profiles handle curves slightly different. So if you were trying to match something else in the project, you might find you have to use one or the other depending on what you're trying to match. But these, again, morphs would work great. Complex profiles would be fine too. Same thing with that. Um, but this belt core stuff, I would not use a morph unless you're a pro at that tube command, which I am not. I suck at it. So for me, drawing this as a complex profile wall, or even just a couple of stack slabs, would be way, way easier for me. Maybe a commenter knows that there's an easier way to do it with the morph tool, like building it stacked up and unioning and subtracting instead of doing the tube. But again, that's all doing a lot of work when the wall tool and a little complex profile solves that well. So I'm going to stop there because this video has now gotten longer than I wanted it to be. So I hope you guys learned something and see how creating chimneys like this is A, very easy, and B, a great way to combine morphs and complex profiles using both their strengths to create this really fast. Thanks.